draw as many cards as possible.
That's
Um,
just feels bad though. Like using the fan, like kind of like that. See what draws something better. Belcher's not the card you want to see. You could eviscerate the Belcher, dagger
mhm.
up, punch it, and then use a Boombot to kill the remaining slime. I guess you
Yeah,
just don't really want to
but
hit
it
the
seems
face
like
here.
you want to save your eviscerate for burn, maybe. So,
Oh, it kills the
oh,
Belcher off, and SI is gonna come down here instead.
oh, cool. This you still save a Boombot. Doesn't attack
Right.
again. Sets up a
But,
big board here.
but here, look at this turn from Tides. You can actually clear the board a lot of the ways. So
Yeah, has I wonder how he Tides is gonna clear here because I think he's gonna Shadow Flame something for sure. You can just like watch your Shadow Flame and still have 4 mana. Oh, is he gonna Shadow Flame this?
the
Okay, so
Watcher? Yeah,
okay, yeah,
Shuffling
Shadow
Watcher,
Flame
right?
the Watcher.
And I
Player
do like
player
playing the
play
Drake
first.
first. So
Uh
the Drake
huh.
might soak the bomb, right? The only thing you die right now is the shenanigans, like, oil and charge and
Yeah,
whatnot.
exactly.
So this bomb is gonna go to face of four!
Oh,
Oh no! Is it YOLO rack time?
that is a potential lethal now at the 4 because Rag.
Wow! Wait,
Wow.
if it was three, it would have been fine too, right? I mean, it would have been the same
Uh huh.
possibility, but I think Hype is gonna go for it. I mean, you are so you cornered, right? I mean, you're
Yeah,
just two
exactly.
big creatures on the board. This
You
is
have
gonna
to.
be the biggest rack snipe. So this is gonna goalie in the pole, and oh
Oh, the
no,
worst
it doesn't
one.
work out. So
Yeah.
now, do we see lethal on Tides' screen? You can face this the rag and then just go
Oh, is it
really go for
counter
your own
lethal?
50-50.
Wow, if you face this rag, it's almost like a counter lethal. If only you can destroy the rag somehow too.
Wait,
Wait,
what's that? What?
what?
Give me the
Oh, he's
cycle.
trying to troll.
Okay, well then, that is oh my god.
Um, does
Okay,
that
wait,
matter?
but you can't. Do you face this? You can't face this in Argus. That game is such a surprise. Like,
Yeah, exactly. It's so weird, but I definitely oh man, it's weird, right? Because you
how
can
does Rook have
Molt
7
Taunt.
damage?
Yeah,
How
you
does the
can
tempo
Molt
Rook?
Taunt, but then you don't. They don't have any chance of lethal. But if you faceless the rag and it misses, then you don't have a taunter up, and then you might die maybe.
Okay, so I guess it's Molten Taunt and then just trade for the rag for like the safest play, right?
Hmm.
Oh man.
But I wonder why
Oh,
it did
oh,
the.
oh! He
Wow.
does do it. He just faces us anyways. Okay, well then. All right, and the owl is gonna come up here as well. It's kind of like all it is. This gonna hit the face? Yes, it
Oh,
is.
oh, the
All
lethal.
right, well there
Yeah.
you go. Some very interesting mortal coiling your own owl to just try and fish for something. Maybe he's running BGH or something. Like I'm
Uh-huh.
not really sure, or anti-kill bot, right? I mean, those are
Yeah,
some
yeah,
things that you could
exactly.
use. But that was pretty funny how that happened. Um, Hype is not gonna run the rag hit, but Tides is instead gonna run the rag hit. It's going to be now Tides' Warlock against maybe the Warlock or maybe the Druid. Both are pretty fair matchups, I would say. Not a favorite to either player, I guess. So it doesn't really matter what Hype wants. So based on that, I think Hype will go with the deck that is not that good against the other two decks, right? To try
Hmm.
and steal a win right now. Does that make sense?
I guess, yeah, because you wanna make your next deck you pick if they're the same against Handlock, you wanna make the next one better against the other two, basically.
Right.
So thinking a little bit ahead in the future.
So what would you pick here?
Um, I think I'd go ahead and pick Druid probably because I think maybe if they're both around equal against Handlock, I think Druid probably has a little bit better matchup against both Tides of Times Druid and his Mage because the Echo Mage it seemed to run double BGH with Echo and I think like some amount of Owls too. So it seems like that deck has all the answers to your early game big minions
Hmm.
and same as Druid. Like I think you'd rather play Druid Mirror than Handlock against Druid because Handlock against Druid is it's very easy to die to combo. So
That's true. You do need a very good starting hand as a druid. I mean, it kind of goes with everything, right? But still, like
mhm.
druid has some very good matchups even without the combo. I kind of always treat like druid. As like if you don't draw your ramp things, then you have like a 40%. But if you draw ramp things, you have like a 70%.
Uh-huh.
So the odds are kind of in your favor, nonetheless.
Yeah.
It's a crazy deck, I would say.
It's so interesting. Although so many of these late game scenarios, there's a lot of boom bots and Ragnaros hits. You know,
Mhm.
it's like the super RNG spots.
Oh, but yeah, Hype is gonna instead. Oh yeah, Hype is running the Hobgoblin deck, right?
Oh,
Wait, so
interesting.
is that good against Hammock? I guess it's like a zoo, right?
So this kind of druid, you're trying to run Handlock over, right? I don't think you're waiting for turn 9 combo. You're just trying to blow them out, right?
I
Like say turn
guess
5 or turn 6 Savage Roar for the win, maybe.
it's definitely a very interesting. I really want to see this work out just to see how much potential this deck has.
Uh-huh. This is good
So.
for hyped. He has a Blood Knight and a Squire for the synergy. Oh,
Oh,
wait a minute. Can you really do
oh,
Squires?
but okay, but if you do that, um, I'm not really sure. It's really vulnerable to BGH, right? And all handlocks have BGH right now. Do you do that
Sometimes
then?
I'm just thinking about whether to just coin out Blood Knight here or go for this, the gigantic one. Because that one is weak to BGH.
And silence as well, right? I mean, you're consuming two divine shields, so.
So maybe
Mm.
what he'll do here is just coin out the Blood Knight, and then next turn go Argent Squire plus Power of the Wilds. That way you don't put all your eggs in one basket, but maybe you just go for the blowout play. If you go for the blowout play, what
Wait,
would you
which blowout play? They're both blowouts, I have to say.
the 9/9?
Oh, the 9/9 blow. Okay, all right. So you will
Bigger
also
blowout.
coin the power of the wild here, right? I mean, you don't want to really float that much mana.
So yeah, the bigger blowout play would be to play the other Squire and then maybe coin out Power of the Wild.
Yeah, and
Uh,
no, just holding the
Stays?
power of the wild. Wow, really values the coin here.
Okay, so this Blood Knight is gonna be pretty crazy. And the Innervate, is he gonna Innervate out
Power of the
Power of
wild.
the
Is it really that awesome though to innovate a part of the wild? I mean, you're kind of like making it versus innovate coin a ancient of lore instead, right? Wouldn't that be just better?
Yeah, it probably is. Type still needs to draw Savage or like swipe or some burn. So I think you want to play your Ancient War as soon as possible to draw into what you need. This is kind of cool
Yeah.
how Hype set it up because he set up his 9/9 on turn 4. And turn 4 is when your opponent really wants to drop Twilight Drake and Molten Giant, but you can't do that.
Right, yeah. Who cares about playing giants, guys? Play
Wow.
hype stack and just, do the 9/9.
Wow. Tides actually didn't play the Giant or the Drake and just yellow tapped for the Owl and missed.
That is really insane because what if your opponent has Savage Roar here, right? That's like 11 plus 8. That's 19 damage to the face.
Yeah, I'm really surprised by Tide's play because he could at least contest the board a little bit better playing a big guy, but instead plays a Watcher. Like maybe he wanted to tap into Owl, but he missed. So this 4/5 isn't really doing anything here. Looks like Hype is going to go with your play and maybe go Ancient of Lore.
It does make sense, right? I mean, Shadow Flame doesn't clear the Ancient of Lore as well. You need Shadow Flame and Coil. Uh, I feel like it's fine. You do want
Yeah.
to reload your hand, especially like, get some Savage Roars. I don't think this 9/9 is going to go anywhere if Tides can't deal with it the turn before.
Hmm.
Like, you would silence a 9/9 if you have a silence. I
Yeah,
believe.
clearly missed the Owl.
Right.
I think
Here's
Hype is
another
thinking of
question.
how to attack here because
Right. You
if you
hit with a
attack your
9/9.
9/9, oh Lotheb.
Ooh, if the Lotheb, I think he's gonna actually hold. Oh, yeah, okay, he does
Oh,
hold.
okay.
I was like, wait. But yeah,
Wow, and it pays off because the Molten Giant is drawn.
oh
So
my.
if if Hype punched Ties down to 10, it would have been Molten Shadow Flame and potential Mortal Coil. That there wasn't a Mortal Coil, so 9/9
Right.
would have survived and had lethal. That's
So,
weird.
man, this Blood Knight, man, this is insane. Why would everybody play Handlock when you can just do a 9/9 at turn 3 anyways, with not a
Yeah.
Handlock? Oh man.
This is brutal because Hyped has the load to follow up. Well, actually, Hyped is just straight out threatening lethal here. This is how
Yeah,
much?
this still be
this
lethal.
is this
Most
is this
definitely.
is easily threatening lead. 16 damage on board, I believe.
Well, one way to beat Hadlock is to, put up enough pressure at the early 5 turns, and then just win from there, right? And this is
Kind of
exactly
how Zoo and Hunter beat Hamlock. You know, you just
right.
don't even let them drop any giants because it's like how Zoo plays against Hamlock, right? If you
Yeah.
go tap tap Mountain Giant, you're just dead. You know, the next turn very likely. So
Oh no, it's gonna be a Mountain Giant and the Sun
Sun
Fury.
Fury,
That's the
yeah.
best turn. Oh no. Wait, is this
Unfortunately, okay. So can Hype win here?
like so each part of the wall does 4 damage. Can you deal
And you can
and then
innervate
the
out the
wrath?
swipe as well. I mean,
You
innervate
can
out the
wrath
wrath
is
as well.
8-8, yeah. I don't know. Wait, so 9 plus 5 is 14. 14, 18. It seems like he's 1 damage off,
Oh, okay. He
right?
seems very close, right? Because if you go double power the wild wrath, you can probably trade your 2/3/3s for the giant
Yeah.
after. So you'll have two power the wilds and then the two big creatures. So
So
that's
11 and 7, right? So you're just 1 damage off.
yeah, exactly.
Oh man.
One damage off.
So if you are 1 damage off, don't you want to just play Lothab instead to guarantee that you have the board?
Hmm. I mean, Lothab is such a strong lock here, right? Because if you
Right.
Lothab, you won't be scared of Shadow Flame next turn. So what I'm thinking is
Exactly.
Lothab, innervate out Wrath
And then
for
trade the
3,
ancient
and
lore, right?
trade the Ancient of Lore. It looks good.
Yeah. Oh, what is he gonna do here? He better make a decision quick. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
gonna do exactly that.
So I wonder how he's attacking.
Well, I mean, if you're not gonna be scared of Shadow Flame, you're only losing to a Molten Giant plus taunt, right? So I
Yeah,
guess you
just
go
go
for
for
basic.
it. Just go for it.
Yeah.
Exactly. The Molten Giant
This
can't
is
be
so
comboed
good.
with Shadow Flame, so
Right, but he got Tides could taunt it up. So here it is going to be a Molten Giant plus Argus, I think minimum, and then probably not tap because I mean you're dying. So if you're dying, you don't want to tap.
yeah. I wonder if you go yellow and tap for the second Molten Giant.
Wow. I don't think so.
Guess
Definitely
not.
not. Yeah. Wait. He's hovering over the Peter part. He's hovering over it. Wouldn't it be so sick if he actually gets it? Oh my god. It would be so sick. No, he decides better.
No, it doesn't go for it. Too risky.
Okay. So now is this lethal? Whoa!
Should be lethal. Right. Yeah, swipe
Yeah,
power the
swipe,
wild.
attack, and a hero power. Yeah, it is lethal.
You can swipe the. You can do
You
this
swipe
some
the
different
3/3.
ways.
Right?
There's
Oh
like
yeah.
5 ways to do this turn for lethal, I think so.
Right.
So Hype takes it out with
Well,
the blowout play.
that's pretty blow to me. I mean, you can just do anything you want here. Power of the wild again, clear the board, use the hero power, anything you want, Height.
You can
You.
swipe that, trade the Lothab, trade the 2/2, and punch him for 10. Right?
Oh yeah, of course. Then the Blood Knight survives, and you're really happy, right? Well, seems like Blood Knight did carry this game. Hype is gonna take win with this. Well, it looks like a Blood Knight deck, but it's actually a Hobgoblin deck. So very cool, very cool.
Yeah, it's just a super strong opening. It's this is like usually Druid versus Handlock. You need the combo to win with the Force Nature plus Savager, but Hype just straight up runs Tides of Time over with a 9/9 Blood Knight.
All right. And this just feels like I still want to see the Hobgoblin in action. So hyped. John, let's do it. Let's do some innervate crazy stuff, and then Wisp, right?
Oh, that'd be great. We haven't seen any crazy Hobgoblin turns this tournament. Like we have seen
Okay.
Hobgoblins come out, but they've always kind of just immediately gotten taken care of.
Oh
We
no,
haven't
no, there
seen.
was this one game with the Hobgoblin and Echoing Ooze, right? And it was really good.
Okay, but not something like Hobgoblin like 5 minions. Like a
Oh yeah, yeah,
complete.
yeah, yeah, that would be insane.
That'd be so
But,
cool.
not quite, yeah. So now times are to choose between the druid or the mage. So keep in mind the hype is not running a typical druid. It's kind of like the zoo druid. So I think the druid matchup actually the mirror. I mean, actually favors hyped.
It should favor the bigger druid, I think.
Really? Isn't it the druid that gives more pressure on the board because you can't really come from behind?
Well, no, but the like druids have a lot of taunts. So, say you have a lot of like small minions, like 2 3s, 2 4s. They just lose so badly to to a 4 6 druid caller. So,
Right.
I think historically the druid matchups have favored bigger druids because bigger druids usually have taunts. So, but we'll see. It definitely depends how the small druids can snowball their lead. It basically relies on how crazy the hobgoblin can get, or how crazy say Power of the Wilds and Savage Roars can get, because you're a smaller deck, but so you'll fizzle out first and you'll lose
Right.
the late game, but you need to be able to snowball your early lead. So
Well, I mean, right now, if the bigger druid has an innervate into like a shredder, I think
super
Tides has a
awkward.
big advantage here.
Exactly. You don't want to be a smaller druid and be behind, right? And playing from behind. That's
Right.
like the most weird situation. And looks like that's what's gonna happen. And what's super awkward for Hype this his only 3 drop is the Hobgoblin, and it's
Oh
like
man,
it
I
just
don't think you want to do
dies.
that. Yeah, it just dies.
But I mean, you can't just hero power the face. So
Oh, Wild Grove is actually a good draw here. You can actually choose to sacrifice the Shredder so that you can play a special knight next turn. Feels pretty good.
especially because Keeper of the Grove is a situational
Ooh.
card, there might not be a
Oh
target.
wow, he actually Rafts instead.
Yeah,
That's
decides to
pretty surprising.
save the Shredder.
Yeah, it does. But I mean,
I mean, I
I
guess
guess.
if Tides feels that Hype's deck is all in against him, so he just doesn't want to make too weak of a move and lose his Shredder. He probably feels that there might be a keeper target anyways, and he can just follow up with Spectral Knight. There's no need to say to ramp.
Mm-hmm. Well, Tides might be a little bit ahead of the meta here, and he's running Black Knight in his Druid.
Yeah, Black Knight is a card that has kind of fallen out of favor recently, and we see it come back this tournament in a couple of decks. I think this is the second deck we've seen of Blood Knight. I mean, Black Knight.
And imagine if there's a Hobgoblin here. This would have been an explosive turn. Uh, Tides is not going to be able to use the Innervate this turn, so it's probably just going to be a Special Knight and pass. So Hype will have to deal with this board.
Yeah, Hype's actually behind, and actually Hype is almost dead in some ways because
Yeah.
there's always the threat of at least Force Nature or Savager here. Probably not both by turn 7, but Hype definitely has to be worried about his life total here.
Um, and I guess you can hit the Shredder and see what happens first, right? Well, if a Mana Wraith comes out, you're not really that unhappy about it.
Ouch. Because
Hmm.
it's probably going to be a Force of Nature, but it's buffing the 3/3, so now you wish you played the Force of Nature. But you can't know
Oh,
what's coming out. There could be
yeah,
other
that's true.
ones where you'd rather not have Force of Nature. It's weird.
Yeah. Well, that's actually weird because if he is going to Force of Nature, he should have used it first. Because what if a taunt comes out, right?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, so that should have been a little bit forward thinking, I guess. But then also, if you Force of Nature first and you hit it, and then there's a Doomsayer, you're not like, what the heck has just happened to
Yeah,
my
it's
life?
just Force of Nature, nothing
Yeah.
effectively because it was dying anyways to the
All right.
Doomsayer. So
So I
it's always a
think
trade-off.
this is lethal for Tide. So yeah, here you go. That's one way to do it. Innovating a Shredder is pretty insane start. It's really hard to beat that, to be honest.
Hype just didn't get as strong aggressive. Like it was, the deck totally played different from last game when Hype had a crazy opening, like 2/1 Divine Shields followed by 9/9, and this game was like just no pressure at all early. So
Mm-hmm. So yeah, there we go. Hype is going to be down to his last deck, and do keep in mind that both players have used their coup. So if you go back there and see in the deck list, he is going to have to rely on his well, the wrong druid got X'd off there. The warlock to beat both the druid and the mage. So there you go.
then maybe we see kind of like a identity of the Hobgoblin Druid. One of the problems is maybe it can be really strong and blow out your opponent, but there might be consistency issues with the deck as well. Because the Hobgoblin deck, kind of by definition, will have some consistency issues. So.
So yeah, as soon as the game loads, we'll get right on it, guys, and yeah, we'll just have to see.
So Tides of Time still has Druid Mage. Is there only Warlock left for hyped? Because
Yeah, there is only Warlock left for hyped, so it's gonna be quite hard, I guess. I mean,
uh,
Handlock against Mage, is it really that bad? It's the Zoo Mage, right? With all the echoes and weird stuff like that. And oh my god, Hype is actually playing Zoo.
oh wow, I guess we never
I didn't know
saw hype.
that. Yeah, I don't think we
I
ever
kind of
saw that
assumed
happen.
I was Handlock for some reason, but maybe we missed it, or maybe we as casters, we're not as paying attention as much as players, writing down everything and remembering. So maybe hype did play it and we just didn't, remember.
Mm-hmm. So I think Zoo is a big favorite against Tides, and especially if Tides choose to. I don't know why he would mulligan the Keeper of the Grove because it's good against both matchups.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
wow, wow, that's one way to beat Zoo, right? I mean, you have
Yeah. This is a very good hand.
sweet Wild Grove into Keeper of the Grove, especially if your opponent draws puts like a Flame Imp at the start. So pretty easy turn for a high tier. I'm pretty sure you're just gonna coin up both the 1 drops. Uh,
Yeah.
Set up for the Wolf if you need it. You also have you also have Creeper next turn for more Wolf. And
Because has the time use Wild Growth here, um, maybe hype is actually going to follow up with the creeper because you don't want to risk your Direwolf Alpha being keepered, maybe. And there's no minion this turn that Tides dropped, so you can't really use your Direwolf to to trade. So goes with the safer play. I do like this one better.
Mhm.
I would have preferred to see the Hunter Creeper on the left of the of the board here because if you Implosion, all your 1/1s go on the right, and with the Direwolf Alpha, you kind of want to propagate, with Flame Tongue. So having your
Right.
Death Rattle in the middle of the board seems awkward.
Well, but also you kind of want the Voidwalker to be in the middle of as well, right? So then, after the Voidwalker dies, yeah, things also shift.
Okay.
So I think based on that, it would be right to have played the Leper Gnome on the right side of the Voidwalker. See, this is like such a positional thing, right?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
yeah, I think Zoo is hard to play. People think it's
There's
like super
definitely
easy,
a
but
lot
this
of
is like
positional things.
right. But then there's a lot of things where you go like, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, see, Direwolf is gonna die and whatnot, but it does matter, right? There are a few games that decided, um, you know, that decides just position of one position error, and you can't Direwolf for lethal or something.
Yeah, exactly. This turn definitely expect the Dark Iron Dwarf to be developed and Leopardum to be traded off for. You are not that weak to swipe because there's no way for Tides to remove the Hunter Creeper,
Hmm.
before swiping. So at least the Creeper will stick around. Um, Implosion would be. Hmm.
Let's see how it rolls. And oh my god, that's good, right? That's good.
That's good.
That is
Yeah.
good. And Tides is like, look at him. He's like, waving back and forth and go like, no, that just happened. And look at that, no swipe in hand. Isn't swipe like the only way to deal with this board?
Yeah, pretty much. Unless you just go bigger, like something like a Sludge Belcher. Because these are all, even though this board is big, they're all 1/1s. So ultimately, you can just go over the top. Like, you don't have to kill these minions. It's not like a Quartermaster where you could just die to these. They're ultimately just Flame Imps, so. I
Well, to
mean,
be honest, you are gonna die from these. 14 health left remaining from Tides. And if we see another implosion here,
but he
I
has the
think not,
room.
right?
He has the room, though.
No, there's no room. Okay,
You
so
can't
instead you Dark
impose
Iron Dwarf,
that.
right?
A Dark Iron
And then
Dwarf and
you
trade
flame
for one.
instead. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. I don't
yeah.
think there's any way Hype will go for the explosion here because he doesn't have room. So, but we'll see. He did, went for last turn and it paid off. Got the 4 imps last turn. So, and perfectly removed the keeper as well. Yeah, it's looking like Tides of Time, regardless of what happens here. It's looking bad because Tides of Time's whole hand is like kind of situational cards, right? Force of Nature Savager is really not what you want against a lot of early game minions, and
Right.
Shade is too slow, and the Power Well doesn't. It's also too slow, and actually just too weak as well. So Tides of Time needs to draw swipe here. Doesn't get
And
the swipe.
that's not really a swipe. I mean, can you Ancient of Lore into something crazy? No. Can you Force of Nature? I guess you have the Force of Nature then, huh?
Yeah, you can remove the 4/4 and the 2, it's the 3/2 with Force of Nature, maybe.
Ooh,
Oh,
let's see what this pops up, and it's an oh no.
maybe I was just
That's
going for the
works.
Doomsayer.
No, Doomsday activates on your turn. I mean, not on
Oh
your turn,
yeah,
on the
yeah,
start of your
yeah.
turn. So that would be very
Okay,
terrible, I think.
yeah.
Typed is well, actually, Age of Lore is not that bad. But you are facing still the same amount of damage you faced before. Now, Hype can actually like kind of bet on his imps here, right? If it hits just one imp or two imps, Implosion can hit for three. um, yeah,
Yeah.
I think you do that. I think you just hit two imps in the into the lore.
Wow, he's going for the other one.
Oh, is
Okay,
it
the Creeper's taking out for free. I think Hyped is going for Explosion here.
right? But if this hits for two, that would kind of suck.
Hmm.
Oh,
Oh,
three is
three.
a
That's
good one.
okay. Definitely
Three
good.
is really good. Three is
Yeah.
perfectly fine. Does play the Undertaker on the right, and Voidwalker should be placed somewhere in the middle. Perfect. That is really good. Ones and yeah, there you go.
Tide's time. It's once again kind of fishing for swipe. With this many 1/1s, it's almost the only way you can deal with it. Okay, so Tides of Time does take out all the non-1/1 minions, but it's still enough 1/1 minions is still gonna kill you.
Well, I mean, it's not killing you yet. You have a Doomguard out there. Oh
Eventually.
my god!
Oh,
Okay!
that's not
Well,
fair.
I guess you do draw Doomguard. Maybe I shouldn't be like calling cards like this for a person. Oh my god.
Yeah.
So
That might
now
have
you're
just locked the game out because this board now seems impossible to deal with. Even a swipe can't destroy Doomguard,
uh-huh.
and you're at
Uh,
3 life, so
So
Wrath
Wrath,
is
you have to
needed.
draw a card. You're not kind of living without drawing a card. Battle Teacher's not going to do the job here. Hyped with the Zoo, kind of like a surprise pick, right? I mean, you're expecting kind of everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody is running a handlock that you go like, oh yeah, just I'm fine. Druid against
I,
handlock.
I actually, this is weird because Ties of Time is my teammate, but
Mhm.
just because I'm so curious, I actually was kind of rooting for Hype in that matchup because
Okay.
I really want to see the Zoo Mage against Zoo.
Oh,
I've
you
never
just
seen
want
the
to see the
matchup. I
mage.
just
You
want
just
to
want to
see
see.
the Mage, and I want to see in particular how it fights against Zoo because it's almost like a mage Zoo against Warlock Zoo, right? Because we know that
Um,
Ties of Time has like 8/1 drops as well. It'll be a pretty bloody battle the whole game for minion and board control.
and I mean, okay, so how does mage open? I mean, we know Tides runs a lot of one drops. He even puts Zombie Chow inside his mage deck, right? So I'm expecting a very very good start from Tides here, and I mean Zoo always has a good start. I mean it's Zoo.
Exactly.
So I don't know. It seems like it's really board control oriented. Um, I think Zoo still does a little bit better, don't you think? Because you can buff
I'd
out your
have to,
minions to do
yeah,
extra attack and stuff like that.
exactly. I'd have to give the edge here to Hyped for this
Right.
matchup because ultimately Zoo is more about snowballing minions with things like Direwolf Alpha, Abusive Sergeant,
Right.
Defender Vargas, and Mage is more about like sticking minions and then using Echo, you know, and it's hard to stick a lot of minions against Zoo because they just constantly trade off and maintain board control. So I don't know if Tides is able to get a lot of value from Echo here.
And look at this hand. Really gross hand from Tides. Mirror Entity is one of the worst cards you can have facing
Yeah, you
against.
definitely don't want any secrets. You just want to cheat them out with Mad Scientist, you know. Oh, and now it looks really good hand. It just went
I
from
don't
really
think
bad
the zombie. I don't think you can argue if you draw a zombie chow at the starting hand against the
two
zoo.
1/drops as well.
Yeah.
Okay, wow. Tides hand just went from really bad to really good. Okay, so I wonder if Tides is just going to overrun Hyped here because the other thing about playing a deck like Zoo is it relies on snowballing minions, like we said, with the Direwolf and Argus and Abusive. And once you
Right.
lose board control, that plan falls apart.
So
So
you are forced to abusive here and to clear the zombie chow because you don't have any death rattles. So this
yeah,
Undertaker is just gonna be a sitting duck.
wow. And once this Undertaker dies, if you look at Hype's hand, it's all snowball minions. He doesn't have any minion that's just playable. So it's like the worst case scenario for Hyped.
Well, I
If
think now I
oh
have to give the edge to Tides, like by far. But still, the acolyte is really weird, right? I mean, we kind of talked about the acolyte, how it kind of like, um, what's that word called? Confused us,
Wow.
I guess.
I'm super not confused about not dropping Echoing Ooze
Oh, really?
because
You want the money
now
to?
this can just trade and also threaten the mirror entity as well. Whereas if you Echoing Ooze, it still trades with the Mad Scientist over 2 turns, but it also gives you, say, a better chance to stick one of the oozes for like a Argus or something, and it doesn't immediately proc the secret.
Oh wow!
Now
I
what if it's
Tides
just mirror
going
entity?
for the acolyte here. That is interesting. And if the ooze is dropped here, Tides might actually get two oozes, right? Because the battle cry sticks and it's like copied. Is it? Or does it
I
work
don't
that
think
way?
so. No, I don't think you'll get the battle cry from mirror
I
entity.
think you will because battle cry is kind of it occurs before the secret occurs, right? Because battle cries is like happens and then secret happens. So if you're gonna buff your own minion, then it works. Like think about it this way: like Frost Wolf Warlord, it also works with mirror entity, right?
No, but Echoing Ooze battle cry is at the end of the turn.
Yeah. So at the end of the turn, Tides ooze might propagate as well. You get
I
what I
don't
mean?
think so. Oh, I guess we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. See, it has the buff. It has the
Oh
glowing
wow.
thingy. Yeah, I mean it makes sense, right? Battle cries occur before secrets do. So
It's
this
just
is actually gonna happen first, which is pretty.
two.
Oh man, this is amazing.
Yeah,
Who would have thought, guys? This is one way to get 2 minions of mirror entity, guys. Use
yeah.
use an ooze. Well, if Tides actually gets Echo here, that could be pretty big.
I don't, now
I
Ties
believe
can
this
just take over
too.
the board though. You have a crazy Undertaker turn here, right? Undertaker plus Loot Hoarder, and you can really take over this board. 5 minions versus one. Five
All right.
versus one.
Yeah, that
It's
seems
not
good.
often that you get 5 versus 1 against Zoo. Oh,
Oh,
he's
putting a
playing.
secret instead.
This is
Wow.
kind of stopping the Doom Guard, I guess.
I guess it. Oh.
It's not gonna
But
happen though. Not
oh, but no,
after
no,
the
that's
mirror.
not gonna happen. I mean, you have a perfect turn five play with this, so I'm pretty
And
sure
this way
this
you
is
don't
not
have to
gonna
discard your 2 cards. You can play Doom Guard next turn.
happen. Well, both mirror entities are gone, so Hype is not really afraid of the Doomguard being copied or anything, so that's gonna be fine. The Ooze is going to it looks like he wants to eat a free minion for sure.
Uh-huh. Decides to take out the one that doesn't draw extra cards.
Uh,
Big Game Hunter is not going to be useful here, but
but-
Tides has so many
oh,
moves here. Wow, this
is that a
Undertaker.
one mana Yeti that we're about to see?
How many Death Rattles are? That is a 1 mana Yeti. Wow,
Oh no!
that's really sick. I can't imagine not going for the 1 mana Yeti move.
All right.
Hyped has kind of the perfect answer in Doomguard, but then there's still all the other creatures after, which is
Exactly, and
still
all
a
the other
lot of
creatures
power.
just trades perfectly. You know.
And
Oh,
actually, Belcher's even weaker to Doomguard,
Belcher
right?
is pretty
Because
weak to Doomguard.
it's even
That's
weaker
true.
because then you don't have all the other 1 mana minions.
Yeah. And now how is this Doomguard gonna die? Right? It's not.
Yeah.
So a little bit of I guess I guess he only oh well okay. Do you want a 1 mana 5/6 instead? A 1 mana Pinnacle? Okay, I guess
Oh
that's
man.
what you do. Oh my god, the zoo has arrived. Oh my god, the new zookeeper is in town.
Wow.
Look
I
at
want to see
that.
the look at Hype's face because
I'm just
what
the
just I don't
ceiling.
even know what just happened.
Oh no. Oh wow. Okay. Is this if this rolls four?
Oh yeah, you
It's
can use
gonna
the
be
2/2.
huge. Is this rolls four?
It's all on the line here because
Oh! What is happening this game?
wow. Now do you take out the zombie chow here?
Wow! The game would have been over right there. Oh my god.
And now all of a sudden it's hyped with the stronger board.
Yeah, but this loot hoarder is gonna come. Oh, the Death Trigger is huge actually, right? You loot hoarder sacrifice yourself to draw something. Um. Oh, Yeti
Yeah.
is not too special. I think the BJs is actually gonna be dropped here so that he can ping as well.
Yeah, maybe. I actually think that I think the Yeti will come down because
Oh,
there might be Sea Giant in this deck still, and also I don't think you need to ping a 1/1 you just trade your leper gnome or whatever, or your clockwork gnome even for the flame imp, and I don't think it really matters to get the one extra hero power. I think you'd rather just play the Yeti because the big hammer is too weak to 1/1s. Oh, it doesn't even drop the knife juggler.
Huh? Is he gonna go for the
I guess the
Oh,
knife
that's
juggler is also too weak to 1/1s, but
maybe he's just valuing it a little bit more. Oh, and there you wow.
oh,
Profit, profit Kong. I have to say. That's what to say.
okay, so you can play the sea giant. That's a good one, but
But guess what?
unfortunately,
Tides has the
yeah,
perfect counter. Like
yeah,
this game is just
exactly.
insane. I don't know what's happening. I guess BGH is good against Zero to keep, right? Like I
Yeah.
would have lost this game. I would have just lost. I would have played the BGH there and go like, oh god, I can't do a bot. Oh my
No.
lord. Oh, the knife
Still,
misses, unfortunately, but it doesn't really matter. You have two knives anyway in the form of a hero power. You're gonna have Whirling Blades here. I think Tides will actually win next turn.
yeah, it's so hard for Zoo to make a comeback now.
I mean, you're gonna tap here for sure, and now you're
Drop
down to
minions.
this
None of
down
your
to
minions do anything, unfortunately. You have to get two lucky pings on the one of the two life minions, or you're
right.
dead.
Oh, is that
Oh,
happening?
one.
Is that
Can it?
happening?
Is it possible?
No, no,
Oh
no. Knife
no,
Juggler
he's
cannot
dead.
decide, and Tides is gonna win this series 3-2. Echo as well. Why the heck not? Juggle some
Go
more
for some BM.
knives. Oh man. Wow. So there you go. Tides, let's take this with your with the mage deck that we really wanted to see, and it's like, wow.
Yeah, it's like the mage has Zombie Chow, which is like a card that can really keep you in the game early game against Zoo, because Zoo is still probably the smaller deck compared to this mage. So you still want to drive the game into the late game phase, and Zombie Chow is a card that's really good for that. You can really keep up early game with the Zombie Chow.
Yeah, I mean it's really weird because at the start we felt like that Zoo has a better matchup against this
Yeah.
mage, but then with Zombie Chow, that it's just once again just flipped around so dramatically. So yeah, we're gonna go to a quick break right now, guys. When we come back, we should see the Firebat versus Savish game being resumed because just for the new viewers that just joined, Firebat did DC out of his third game, so he is gonna get a loss from that unfortunately. And so we'll continue the fourth game right after this. Stay tuned, guys. Don't go anywhere. And welcome back, guys, to the Pinnacle tournament where we just witnessed Hyped and Tides. With Tides bringing out the kind of Echo of the Deep zoo-like mage to defeat Hype's actual zoo and to advance into the semifinals where he will be playing against Sixel. But for now, we're going to actually go right ahead and finish up the first series that should have finished ago. It's going to be Firebat versus Savish. Now, Firebat is actually up 2 games to 1, as we can see here. The deck list. If we just kind of want to remind ourselves what happened, they both used the crew already. Firebat just lost the handlock deck to the warrior, and now Firebat has a hunter and a paladin to hopefully defeat Savij's warrior here.
Yeah, so going back to finish the series, unfortunately for Firebat, he disconnected in the last handlock against Warrior game, and since Savitz is arguably in a little bit better position, and since Firebat DC, we just gave the win to Savitz. So,
Right.
Firebat is still up though, 2-1. He has 2 decks to take out this Warrior, both Hunter and Paladin. And I think Paladin, a lot of people like the matchup against Warrior just because, it's like the strong mid-range minions. They just keep, like, Paladin's just constantly able to refuel the board over and over again. And you can always go for Hunter against Warrior as well, and if they don't have Axe, you have a very high chance of winning. if they have Axe, though, it's a little bit worse for you, but you can always...
Didn't they do a thing where it was like a... What was it? There was a chance of like a spreadsheet kind of thing where if you mulligan every card that's not Fire War Axe and just, do it that way, like what the percentage of getting a Fire War Axe is, it's actually something like a 35 to 40% that you actually like need to look for one card.
Yeah, from what I remember, I think it's around 35% going first, and if you go second, it's around like 48%. Because you have 4 cards. Well, no, only if you're going second with the coin, because you have one more card as well.
Oh, that is
going first is 3 cards. Going second, you have 4 cards. So
this kind of reminds me of poker, right? All the statistics and the matches and whatnot. And Savage is actually going to roll the non-48%. Well, he didn't mulligan every card. He kept the Fire War.
Oh, wow. Look at this hand. This is like the worst. A BGH, a Shield Slam, and a Whirlwind. These are not what you want to see.
Yeah, but like what happened there? Do you really keep the Despite here going second?
I think the Despite is good enough to keep just because the weapons are so important, but you don't get anything useful.
Yeah, no, I mean the
so
Despite could kill the Undertaker here, right? And that's provided that Firebat doesn't draw like 2 Death Rattles next turn.
Yeah, we know that Firebat can't have. Well, actually, if he draws one more,
Metronome, right? Metronome
yeah, it's possible. Oh!
Disaster! Oh no!
So that Despite doesn't take out the Undertaker.
Oh,
look at Savitz's expression. It's like,
what just happened?
Now what I do?
It's kind of a thing where we've been calling every single card, right?
Oh wow! Now he gets the win axe.
That is way too late for that. Do you coin Brawl here? Because why not?
But you can't coin Brawl.
Oh, you can't even do it. No. I thought you could coin Brawl. I was like, okay, this is not that bad.
Next turn, turn.
Oh no, you're right. You can't. Oh gee.
Okay, so maybe you equip the weapon and then coin Brawl next turn, right? If you say play the Fire War Axe this turn, and then you can attack the Spider before coin Brawling, maybe. That way, I think you do want to take out the Spider before coin Brawl.
This is really awkward.
Or do you just go ahead and attack the Spider this turn? Because that way, next turn after the Brawl, as long as the Undertaker doesn't survive, you can use your axe again to take out, the winner.
Sure. I mean,
but this way you take too much damage.
Yeah, it's definitely really bad. So now Firebat is probably gonna put one. He thinks there's a Brawl, right? But still, this is really interesting. Do you put more on the board or no?
I don't know. I think that Firebat is definitely hero powering this turn. There's no way that he's going to play both.
Exactly.
His only decision is whether he plays, just one. He's so far ahead, it's hard to imagine that Savitz can do anything except Brawl. I think he kind of gave it away by not attacking.
Right.
Or even if he attacked, it's kind of giving it away. So.
Right. There's a coin Brawl here, and we know that if the Undertaker survives, It's GG right there. So
It's
it's
definitely
actually,
GG.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
20% chance to actually lose the game right now. Let's see what. Oh, Undertaker gets off immediately, and the spider is the one that survives. We are gonna see a trap here. We are gonna see a spare part
Ooh,
here. Doctor
boom.
Boom. Oh no.
Wow, and Firebat picks up a cloak field. I wonder if he's going to use it here because then he can't hero power. I guess not. But it does
The
seem
knife
pretty
juggler?
good to cloak one of your. Yeah, to maybe cloak your
It
knife
does
juggler. I don't.
seem good, but
Mm-hmm.
it also doesn't
You also
seem
lose the
good.
hero power.
Yeah, so he's gonna do the hero power
Yeah.
instead. Can we check out actually what the trap is? Hopefully we can have someone mouse over. It's
Freezing
a
trap.
freezing. So wait, I think Savage is still dead.
Suiza's hand is so awkward. He has nothing to do. Like no Belchers, no Lotheb. Uh, like has two situational on hand. Like things like BGH. I guess the BGH will be good against Doctor Boom, but it's these early turns. He just didn't do enough, and now he's just kind of dead.
And like the thing is like if this is snake trap, I think Savage is just dead. Because one way to clear this board is to whirlwind and use Taskmaster on the knife juggler and then punch the Taskmaster, punch the Undertaker, right? But then these snakes are not alive, and you want to use the whirlwind
Yeah.
against this kind of thing.
Okay, so
Oh
let's see
man,
what Suits can do because he can clear the board, right? Whirlwind, Cruel Taskmaster, and
right.
uh, and then the Fire War Axe. But he does. You're right. He does die to Snake Trap. I wonder if he just attacks the Undertaker first, just in case it's Snake Trap.
If you attack the Undertaker first, I could, I
Because then
guess.
you can Whirlwind after. He just
Yeah,
goes with a double Shield Slam,
and
plus
the whirlwind.
no, and the Cruel.
Wow.
Oh, Whirlwind! Wow.
You can't
Oh,
crew anymore, right? Because of the
that
of the
is pretty
mana, yeah.
wasteful. But
That is pretty
sometimes.
bad.
Wow, the Beast
Oh, do you
for the
just
kill.
YOLO it now? Do you just YOLO it? I mean, you could just web spinner and then just kill command and just hero power again, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess the decision is whether you kill command. I don't think you want to waste your kill command here because
Whoa,
oh, Firebat
Firebat DC'd
DC'd
again.
again. Wow,
Wow,
that is unfortunate. Uh,
and that is definitely quite weird.
yeah. Well, I
Hmm.
guess we'll have to see what happens. Maybe get in contact with Firebat, see how his internet is doing, and I guess we'll try to make another decision what to do here.
Oh man, all these decisions based on the
Yeah.
DCs. It's just kind of what kind of happens, I guess. If we are gonna see Firebat here, maybe we'll just disable his cam or something just to help out with his internet.
Mhm.
Definitely not a spot you really want to be in. Well, it's
Yeah.
kind of awkward for us too because we have to make a judgment call too with the admins.
Yeah.
So I guess we have to go to another break and hopefully, well, if we can't really decide on what to do with Firebat and Savige's game, then we'll have to go on with the right side of the bracket again. But then that is the final time because after 6-0 and Tides finishes their game, we have to get the left brackets to actually occur before moving on.
Mhm.
So that is quite unfortunate. But for now, guys, thanks for tuning in. This is the Pinnacle, sponsored by G2A.com, Twitch, and of course your Wood Watches. We will be right back with a short update after this. We'll be back before the timer if something pops out. But please, stick with us, and we'll see you soon. Hello, guys, and welcome back. So, unfortunately, due to some disconnect issues, we are going to have to pause the Firebat versus the Beach game again. We are going to instead move on ahead to the semifinals. So, a little bit of a bracket change here and there. We have Sixto versus Tides, who beat Tides beat Hyped in the quarterfinals. So, we're going to see that match instead. And this is actually the semifinals, which is quite interesting because the winner will move on to the grand finals and secure at least $1,500 in the prize pool, and the loser will actually go in third/fourth place with a $500 prize.
Yeah, I mean, it's just having a lot of problems with the Firebat versus Fate series, a lot of DCs. So we're not even sure what's going on. Seems like Firebat is getting DDoSed right now, or like
Right.
anytime he starts. So just gonna try to move on with the Six series versus Tides of Time, and we'll have to make a decision what to do for that series
Right.
later.
So yeah, the admins are still deciding because I mean, losing the first game was kind of like usually if you DC you have to lose, right? Because I mean it's not your opponent's
Mhm.
fault if you DC, but at the same time, how that hunter played out was kind of awkward because I mean sure Savage could have lived with the right amount of top decks or whatnot, right? But there's like every situation is different, so we'll have to see. So right now we will instead go ahead to see and look at Tides and Sixto's decks right here. We saw that Sixto was just so dominant in the group stages that you know
Yeah.
I think Tides is in for a battle here, really.
Six's Pound deck in particular is done very very well. It was a smaller Pound deck than we're used to seeing, with more of a lower curve and things like Cult Master, Argus, and Cog Hammer to snowball the smaller minions. So it's a little
Mhm.
bit more aggro than mid range pounds that we're used to seeing. But it's still a mid range deck. It's just faster than normal. Interesting to see how that game will work out. A lot of cool matchups here, and also Tides with the Echoes of Echo Mage. That deck has actually done super well so far. So,
Oh yeah, especially because people aren't really prepared for it. I mean, how do you
mhm.
play against deck? If you play against it, do you have to sub in like tech cards to beat it? But then you already submitted your decks, right? So it's definitely one of the more crazy styles of mage that we never seen before. And to be honest, do you really want to cool out that mage, right? You feel like, oh yeah, I can beat it. This should be fine.
Mhm.
But no, the mage has not lost yet, right? It's
Yeah,
been
it actually hasn't lost because Tides did lose the series, but he didn't play the Mage when he
exactly
lost. I don't
right.
think he got cooed, but it just was never played. Like just played the other three decks, and no coup was ever used in that series. So Tides is actually not lost with this Mage yet. So
Hmm.
well, looks like I'll be going into the game soon.
Yep. They're just gonna load up the game. We will have to kind of see what they pick first to kind of
Mhm.
talk about the bans and whatnot. Because with the coup system, it's not like the ban system, right? Where you just look at the whole matchup and go like, yeah, sure, I'll ban this or I'll ban that. With the coup system, you kind of look at what you choose first and then decide from there, right? And then you look at some matchups. It's actually pretty intricate. So that's definitely something.
Yeah, you can't really just go into the series with the predetermined plan of what to coup. I mean, you can, but that's kind of not the ideal situation. There's always a lot more room for like kind of like on the fly, or on the like put you on the spot thinking, where you just have to decide not at the beginning, but in the middle of the series. So
Hmm. And I guess we're just loading. And of course, admins right now are talking to deal with the DC situation there. So
mhm.
yeah, we'll have an update as soon as we reach a consensus there.
Yeah, well,
Man, I actually really hope that Sixto would bring Shaman instead because it's one of the decks that he actually won the qualifiers with. So
yeah,
yeah, I'm actually pretty sad that he didn't do it.
yeah, and 6-0 is opening with Warlock. I think 6-0's keep his Warlock secret the whole tournament, right? So now
Hmm.
the gig is up. We see it Zoo, but I don't think Tides of Time knows because it hasn't
I
been
don't think so.
shown.
Like, well, Sixto hasn't really played the Warlock deck just yet, right? But at the same time, it's 6-0. He got 3 legends with Zoo. So
Yeah.
I would expect it is Zoo, no matter what.
I think Tides of Time does as well. Uh, Snake Trap here we see. Snake Trap is very. Tides of Time has a bad opening hand, but Snake Trap is pretty good against Zoo because Z mostly is targeting your minions and trying to maintain board control. So it's also annoying to get Snake Trapped.
So I think Tides right now thinks that Snake Trap will be a bit too obvious, right? Especially if you like, just drop it like that. You're just basically gonna pass your turn. So I do like the loot hoarder that's being dropped here instead.
Yeah. Well, if Tides of Time used Snake Trap, 6-0 would have gone face to test the trap first and would have realized it's Snake Trap. And it would
Right, of
have
course. I mean,
not
you're
gone.
not really trading and just spawning 3/1/1s for your opponent, right?
Exactly.
Oh, Silverback Patriarch, is that a good card?
No, it actually does tank this board, but ultimately
Right.
it's still not doing enough. Wow.
I mean, it's not that bad later on, right? It's kind of like Arcane Explosion plus Holy Light for 4 yourself, right? Kind of? Not really? I could kind of like hear
Tides
that,
is
but
going for the Animal Companion. I mean, there's so many ways where it can go wrong because of Darwolf Alpha or Argus, where they just trade better on your Silverback.
Alright, so Sixel is going to drop the 2 drops instead. Implosion not really getting the full effect, so it's going to hold on to it. We see Tides immediately reaches for the owl, doesn't want to deal with the egg.
Wow, Tides actually has Cult Master in this deck.
Oh, it's pretty good Snake Trap, I have to say.
Uh-huh. Oh, so maybe Tides of Time's Hunter is more based on it's like really like based on Snake Trap, right? Because you have Dark Cultist. I think he's using Knife Juggler and Unleash as well. So it's almost like this 1/1 engine kind of deck. A lot of ways to snowball 1/1s.
It's kind of reminds me of the Paladin deck, right? I mean, Snake Trap is your new muster for battle, and then you have Cult Master.
Yeah, exactly. And then like Knife Juggler as well. It's like also a combo.
Right. So Tides is going to play Silverback here and a Loot Hoarder, and oh, is this Power Warming going to do some work? Not really.
Let's see what happens with this implosion here.
Oh my
4.
god! Dude! Implosion! This tournament Implosion has been so good. It's just a deal 4, spawn 4.
Every time I see Implosion being played, it seems like 4. It's like always 4 for some reason.
Wait,
I
is there
think
a
it's
higher percentage to be 4?
I don't know. I don't think so, but I guess it's just like random stuff I've noticed, in my experience. But
Wait, because when it's 2 and 3, you go like, okay, whatever, right? And then your 4 is like, the one you remember, so you go like, yep.
yeah, exactly. I mean, Implosion doesn't actually have that big of a range. It's not like Crackle where it's like 25% to roll top. You have a fairly good chance of rolling 4. It's like 33%, so. And even 3 is not too bad.
I don't know. Implosion is so weird because when I first looked at the card, I go like, okay, isn't it better to like, if it's like inverse, you get what I mean? Like if it deals 4 damage, you spawn 2 imps. If it deals 2 damage, you spawn 4 imps. Wouldn't that be like a better card?
That's interesting.
You
Maybe
get what I mean?
yeah, it's like it might be more balanced overall, right, with the effect,
Right.
but like I don't know. It's a weird discussion for sure, and
Yeah.
it's kind of weird the wording on the card, right? If you deal 2, like how are you gonna
Right.
write
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
card?
Yeah.
It's like,
It would be definitely kind of confusing to.
Yeah. It's like deal
And I mean,
spawn the inverse amount of imps.
no, the other thing is also kind of weird, right? Like, why did like the developers decide that 2 to 4 is the one we should make it, right? Wouldn't it just be better like 3 every single time?
I mean, some RNG is probably good. Just depends because there's a lot of RNG decks. Oh, Crackle for 2.
So, wow,
It's
interesting.
Smart for
Decides to
6
keep
just
the
take
egg.
out.
Yeah, decides to keep the egg instead.
Uh-huh.
And I think that's a bit better against Unleash, right? So
Exactly, that's an amazing egg against Unleash the 1/3. It can absorb 3 hounds, and also it's a card that sticks around after Explosive Trap.
that's right. Now it's actually it's so weird. It's
Wow, is that lethal?
It's 1 damage off.
Oh, 1 damage. Wow, that's not a good
if
one.
only he went for it. He would have drawn Doomguard and ended the game next turn. He could have went for the. Oh no! Now he has the Doomguard here, and possibly discard both his Doomguard and his Power Warming. That way. Oh,
Oh,
no. So
oh,
that's good.
keeps his second Doom Guard. That's very good. I'm sure Six is just gonna go face here and try to go for lethal next turn. I can't imagine
I mean,
trying to trade off with Doctor Boom.
no, no, you're not definitely not doing that. I mean, you're kind of treating Dr. Boone like a Sylvanas, where it's just board control for the next turn, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh wow,
So Tides of
Sylvanas as
Time
well.
needs
Besides,
to get something good. Maybe he's gonna Cult Master and see what happens. You know,
oh
you can
yeah,
at
I
least
think the
draw two
only way is
bulbs.
to Cult Master into something like a freezing or something like that.
I don't know what could even happen here actually.
Well, it's not gonna happen if he's gonna use the bow. That's not gonna
Oh,
work
okay,
now.
you can use Doctor Boom to remove Doom Guard and hopefully
Oh
get
yeah,
lucky
you're
on the
right.
bots. But there's no
Oh,
way because we know that there's a follow up Doom Guard. So
but is there a 1 mana creature that actually deals with the Doom Guard? A taunt, maybe?
I don't think so.
No. Alright, so there you go. Sixo is going to win the first game on the back of, well, that was a fat leopard, no. On the back of two Doom Guards, of
602.
course. Yeah, and Sixo must be pretty happy with them. I think the turning point was the 4 damage on the implosion on the Silverback, because if the Snake Trap actually procced one turn ahead, it would have been so different.
Yeah, exactly.
Alright. Well, that's how you do it, I guess. Just use the zoo to win ladder, and just use the zoo to win this tournament. Hopefully,
Yeah, you
Ty's
just use
side.
Zoo to win everything.
That's what it says, right? I think that's the zoo model, right? Just use me and just win everything.
Yeah.
Um, Ty's has to decide whether he wants to use the crew right now, or he wants to really just do the mage again. I mean, we saw that mage was actually stands a chance with zombie chow, especially.
Uh-huh. I think it stands a chance, but I don't know if it's actually favored. I would still say that Zoo's favored. We saw Hype's opening, which was super awkward, right? Where he lost his one drop and then he had two Direwolf Alphas and an Argus. I think that's the large reason why he got run over, you know, because his whole hand was like minions that rely on having other minions out, so.
Okay.
But we'll have to see. I don't think that Tides is gonna pick mage. We know Tides does have handlock, right? I wonder how handlock is against Zoo, because people used to think handlock's really good against Zoo, and then after the Nerubian eggs came out, that kind of changed it, where it's more weird because of the AOE. Now after GVG, you know, it changes it once again because now there's cards like NT Killbot as well. So we'll have to see how Tides of Time thinks about that one, because you know can also go for the handlock against Zoo as well.
How long you can do is like really, really good now too, right? Because implosion means that you kind of cut out on other things. And back before GVG, there was like it was next Rammus, and every single Death Rattle creature was in Zoo, and it feels like it's not a really good matchup, right? I mean, you feel like, oh yeah, Headlock beats Zoo, and it's all good, but it just doesn't make sense there.
Oh,
So
it looks like we just heard from the admins. The
right.
6-0 actually cooed, like the game actually started. We might have missed it, and 6-0 cooed Tides Warlock.
Right. So they
So
started it
yeah,
super fast, and yeah, I mean, that makes sense, right? Zoo is like pretty good against anything that's not a handlock,
yeah,
um, or a shaman, I guess. And nobody's running shamans really, so
yeah.
I think it's
So
pretty good.
actually, I'm actually predicting that Tides is gonna coup the Warlock now because he doesn't have handlock, and I don't think. I mean, Zoo against Druid is not something you want to go against, right? Like that matchup is so hard for Druid. You just kind of get run over, and it's almost completely reliant on having the early like innervate keeper in some way, because if you don't have the early keeper, Zoo uh, kind of runs you over a lot. So okay, so it looks like we're starting very soon, and we'll see if Tide decides to go a Druid or Mage. But I'm actually thinking it's going to be a coup. Oh,
Oh
interesting.
wow,
No coup, and just goes with the Druid with the slow
yeah.
opening.
And I mean, look at that, Innervate and Shade is a really good opener. It's one of the openers to actually win the game.
I mean, I guess that's a fast opening, but his follow up is very slow because now you have a Black Knight and a Force of Nature. So yeah, it looks like Success decided what to do. I would assume that he's definitely playing the Flame Imp. His only like question here is whether he also coins out the Voidwalker or not, because the Voidwalker kind of just dies for free. But uh, in some other ways it kind of forces him to unstealth. So it looks like he just decides to save the coin, and I think that's the correct decision.
Right. And it's also interesting that you are running Shattered Sun Cleric again, right? I mean, that card seems like it was in and out, and there's only 2 health. It's not that good.
Yeah,
But I think with the Shattered Sun Cleric, Tides actually has more targets to use the Keeper on too, when he draws
Mhm.
it, I guess.
Yeah, I think a large reason why the Zoo list changed a lot was because of the nerf of Soulfire. Because it's really that Zoo has more slots to use now after the Soulfire got taken out of their decks. Oh, so there is a potential coin Shared Sun, but there's probably no way that's happening. The Shared Sun doesn't actually do anything here. A
No, it doesn't.
4-3 here and a 3-2 is the same, right? It just trades off on the Panther. So looks like 6-0, maybe something like double Voidwalker.
Hmm. And
You
do you
want to
trade
save
it for
your?
the 3/2? I
I think
guess
so
you
because
should.
because the 3-2 is threatening your Voidwalkers, and this way, after the Shade kills one for free, you can abusive the other one, maybe kill it.
Hmm.
Oh wow, Tides is keeping his Shade hidden. I wonder if that's gonna, he's gonna get punished for that.
I guess you. I mean, you can't really get punished by that, right?
Hmm.
I feel like it's like fine. Like that's really
Yeah,
the only turn you're gonna do. Oh, he's gonna stealth the Shade here.
yeah. I mean, he didn't take out a Voidwalker and allowed Sixo to play Defender of Argus on 2 targets. So
Right.
in a way, he was kind of punished by it, but he did
Okay.
grow his Shade as well. So
Alright, so what do you do here? I mean, you could Shattered Sun, and actually trade for Divided Teacher really, really well, but the Shade is still left alive on the board. And I mean, I'm looking at the Echoing Ooze and the Shattered Sun combo. That feels pretty good, right?
yeah, it depends if you want to save it here. In my opinion, I think the best move is to Shattered Sun the Voidwalker and then abuse of it as well.
Okay.
And
And then
then
kill
just
the
leave up
Divided
the
Teacher.
Shade. Yeah, and kill the Vine
Yeah,
Teacher for free.
that is actually a pretty good turn. Yeah.
But he goes with the move that takes out the Shade. Oh, Black Knight on a 3/5 Voidwalker.
But that's one way to do it, you know? That is one way to do it.
Wow, 6-0 is not happy about that. It's like
No, you
no
can't be
one
happy.
plays around Black Knight anymore. It's like it's so rare now. So has to create a whole new board from scratch here. He does manage to get some semblance of board control again, but um, Tides has a really good hand, has the Ancient of War and Force of Nature, so you can either clear here or drop the Ancient of Lore. Another option is just Shredder Hero Power, the 3/1. Looks like that's what he's doing. Save your
Mhm.
lore for the draw later and make the stronger move now.
You could even Ancient of Lore to heal up, and I mean, look at your hand is your board is pretty good